The story begins with two women named Becca and Katie, who used to be very good friends. They are both in Katie's room, chatting about various things. Becca tells Katie about a videotape that, after being watched, leads to some events where the viewer dies within 7 days. These things are very dangerous, and everyone says that the tape should not be watched. However, Katie responds by saying that she believes this is not true because she had watched the tape with her friends and has been fine for the past 7 days. She thinks these are just rumors used to scare people. After hearing this, Becca also starts to think that maybe the tape is just a rumor. When Katie goes to her other room to get some water, she begins to feel very strange, as if someone is constantly following her and trying to stalk her. However, Katie doesn't find anyone else in the room. Scared, she returns to her room, only to suddenly notice that it has been filled with water. As she opens the door, she discovers that someone has attacked her, leading to her death in this whole incident. A few days later, we see a girl named Eden at school, who is drawing very strange pictures. The teacher immediately calls Eden's mother, Rachel, to discuss the issue. The teacher explains that Eden is drawing very odd pictures, including one of his cousin Katie, who is dead, and the drawings are quite scary. Rachel then explains the truth to the teacher, saying that Katie, Eden's cousin, had died recently, and Eden was very close to her, which is why he keeps drawing her. However, the teacher reveals a shocking detail: Eden has been drawing these pictures for a week, which is puzzling because Katie died only 3 days ago. Rachel is also confused and shocked, so she goes to Eden to ask him about these drawings. Eden simply says that Katie visited him a week ago. Eden had told me that she would die, and then she left. Rachel couldn't make sense of it, so she didn't press the matter further. For the time being, Rachel attended Katie's funeral with her son Eden. There, she met Katie's mother, who was very upset over her daughter's death. Katie's mother informed Rachel that Katie's friend Becca had completely lost her mind and was unaware of anything. As a result, Becca had been transferred to a mental hospital. Katie's mother began to suspect that her daughter had been murdered because her body was found in a very bad condition. Therefore, Katie's mother requested Rachel to investigate the case and find out the truth behind it because she wanted justice for her daughter. Rachel used to work as a detective and also for government agents, so she had a lot of experience in investigating such cases. Rachel began meeting Katie's friends to gather information. She spoke to everyone who knew Katie to find some clues. After a while, Rachel discovered that on the night Katie died, the same night, all of Katie's friends who had watched the dangerous tape had also died. The shocking part was that all of them had watched the cursed tape, which meant that anyone who watched it would die after 7 days. Rachel found this very childish, but it was the only clue she had. So, Rachel decided to watch the cursed tape to figure out the connection. She immediately bought the tape from the store and went home to play it. Rachel noticed that the tape contained very strange and grotesque things, such as someone being murdered and a dangerous creature being fed. The tape was filled with horrifying scenes, but Rachel managed to watch it till the end. After finishing, Rachel suddenly received a call. When she picked up the phone and held it to her ear, she heard the voice of a small child on the other end, saying, "I will come to you after 7 days. No one will be able to save you." Rachel was a bit frightened by this. Rachel couldn't understand who had made the call and why it was saying the same thing that her friends had mentioned. Still confused, she went directly to her boyfriend, Noah. Rachel explained the footage to Noah, and since Noah loved Rachel and wanted to help her, he watched the footage as well. After watching the footage, Noah also received a call, but they did not pick it up, so it ended on its own. Noah directly told Rachel that someone might be trying to fool them, as such things are usually only seen in stories. But Rachel, determined to find the truth, decided to carefully examine the footage and extract different clues from it. She kept watching the same footage multiple times and eventually saw a lighthouse in it. To learn more about the lighthouse, she went to the library and studied various books. Eventually, she found the name of a woman related to that lighthouse. Her name was Anna. Anna used to live near that lighthouse and took care of many horses. Although her life was normal, over time, many of Anna's horses began to commit suicide, jumping into the water. Anna, who loved her horses dearly, couldn't understand why they were dying. As a result, her health deteriorated, and she also committed suicide. The shocking part was that after Anna's death, all her horses came back to life. This news had gone viral some time ago due to the incident. Although Anna was dead, her spirit still hadn't been freed. Rachel was now at home when she started feeling strange things. As she entered her house, she found it filled with water, and there was the same girl who had called Rachel earlier sitting on a chair. Rachel slowly approached the girl because she wanted to ask her something. But then, the dangerous girl suddenly grabbed Rachel's hand tightly and started squeezing it. Rachel screamed loudly, but then she realized that she was dreaming and woke up from her bed. Although it was a dream, the mark and pain from where the girl had grabbed Rachel were still present, indicating that something real had happened. Rachel quickly got out and went outside, only to hear the same tape sounds she had previously watched. Upon entering the room, she discovered that her son Eden was watching the entire videotape and seemed to be completely under someone's control. Rachel hurriedly turned off the tape and turned her son's face away, but it might have been too late, as Eden had already watched the entire video and the call had come through. Rachel managed to cut the call and took her son to a safe place. As the days went by, Rachel became increasingly worried for her and her son's safety since only 2 days were left for the 7 days to be completed, and she hadn't gathered any clues to solve the case. Recently, Rachel had learned that Anna's husband still lived on the island where the lighthouse was located. Without thinking further, Rachel set out to question him. On the way to the lighthouse, Rachel saw a horse that had suddenly gone mad. It freed itself and jumped into a river, committing suicide in the same manner as Anna's horses used to. Rachel couldn't understand this case and was left stunned. Meanwhile, Rachel's boyfriend Noah was investigating more about Anna's husband as Rachel had instructed him to do. Rachel traveled directly to Anna's husband, Morgan, and tried to ask him about his wife. However, Morgan seemed to be hiding a lot of information and wasn't forthcoming. But Rachel needed to know everything because her sons and her own lives were at stake. Rachel went straight to Morgan's house and started conducting a thorough investigation. Rachel then noticed a frame showing Anna and Morgan's daughter, which she had read about in the reports. Instead of asking about Anna, Rachel began to inquire about Morgan's daughter. This made Morgan extremely angry, and he kicked Rachel out of his house. He told her to never come back and to stop investigating his family. As Rachel was leaving, she noticed a house of Morgan's that seemed familiar. She then remembered that a drawing of a similar house had been made by her son, Eden. Rachel called Eden to get more details about the drawing, but Eden only mentioned that he saw a girl who used to tell him about these things, and he used to draw them and show them to her. Rachel realized that this might be the same girl who had called and threatened them that they would be finished after 7 days. Since Rachel had come so far to the island, she couldn't leave empty-handed, so she went to visit an old doctor who had been living there for a long time. Rachel thought that Anna might have visited this doctor for her illness. The senior doctor knew Anna personally and used to consult with her. During their conversation, Rachel learned another dark secret. Anna was very troubled when she found out she couldn't have children. However, Anna wanted a child who she could raise as her own, so she adopted a girl named Samara and began treating her like her own daughter. Although things were fine for a while, Anna's health deteriorated significantly due to Samara, and she experienced very strange things. These issues were related to some dark energy that Rachel was already aware of because Anna used to come to her for consultations when her health worsened. The doctor had suggested that Anna take her daughter and go far away for a while, but before this could happen, Samara's influence started showing its effects on the entire town. Strange things began happening in the town that people had never experienced before. The doctor, who had researched these matters, told Rachel that all these events were happening because of Samara and were definitely related to dark magic, which was very dangerous. The doctor had eventually sent Anna and her daughter to separate mental hospitals where Anna could get treatment for her daughter. Since then, Anna and her daughter had remained in those hospitals and had never returned, even after many years. Rachel informed her boyfriend Noah about these developments. Consequently, Noah went to the psychiatric hospital where the clips from Samara's treatment sessions were stored. After some investigation, Noah discovered that all those clips were with a man named Morgan, who was Anna's husband. Noah immediately called Rachel and told her that the clips were likely with Morgan and that he had been lying to her. Rachel promptly went to Morgan's house and began searching for the videotape. Fortunately, she found it and inserted it into the TV to watch it. The session showed several doctors treating Samara, asking her numerous questions while she was seated in a chair. Rachel discovered that Samara was not an ordinary girl. She possessed supernatural powers that could harm living beings. Samara revealed that while her mother loved her, her father neglected her, showing only affection for his horses and spending most of his time with them. Rachel understood that this was probably why Samara had controlled the horses to commit suicide, hoping her father would focus on her instead of the horses. Before Rachel could see more, Morgan abruptly cut off the TV connection and attacked her. Morgan was extremely angry with Rachel and said she should not have watched those videotapes. He warned her that some secrets were best left undisclosed, as revealing them could lead to severe consequences for everyone. He also mentioned that Samara had abilities that allowed her to show people disturbing visions. Morgan expressed his desire that no one should suffer like his wife Sahara or his wife Sanaa had. Rachel struggled to understand these comments when suddenly, Morgan took the TV set to a bathroom and blew it up, injuring himself in the process. Rachel was injured but was rescued by Noah, who arrived just in time. Rachel and Noah quickly left the scene and arrived at a large farmhouse where Morgan kept all his horses. The farmhouse had a small chamber on the upper floor, accessible by a ladder. Once they reached there, they noticed many children's items, leading them to deduce that Samara must have lived there. Samara, who did not like horses, must have started showing disturbing visions, causing the horses to commit suicide. As her dark energy increased, she began showing frightening visions to humans as well. Rachel and Noah saw tree structures on the walls, similar to those in the old hotel where Kitty and her friends had seen video clips. They decided to investigate the hotel, as it seemed to be the origin of these events. But will Rachel be able to uncover the truth about these matters, or will her family be destroyed within the next 2 days? Part 1 of the story ends here.